Hi, everyone. Just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on everything. Things still kind of suck. um, I wish I could talk about, I wish I could concentrate on, the books I'm reading and stuff like that. It's just, life's been really hard lately. But anyway, if you've heard my previous broadcasts, you know why. But I would ask you, if you do pray, to pray for my boyfriend, Rocky. He's got stomach and throat cancer. And he's puking up blood every day. And I would ask you to pray for that. I mean, there's been just lots of stuff like that over the past whatever, you know. And hi, Salted. Good to see you here. But yeah, it's just, if you do pray, please pray for my boyfriend Rocky. I don't want to lose him. I don't want to lose him. I mean, it was funny because when we first got together, he's like, "Oh, I only get together with, girls 2 years younger or 2 years older than me." And I'm like, "Hello, I'm 11 years older than you." And he was like, "I didn't know you were that old." Hey, Ration. Good to see you too. But um, but yeah, trying to think of some stuff that I've seen recently though that I want to talk about. Because I know I've seen stuff. Well, what's all with these logos like merging their letters and stuff like that? I mean, it's weird, you know. It's strange. But anyway, I'm just I'm just hurting right now. I don't know if you've seen my previous broadcast, but I lost two dear friends in the last week or so. And then actually 4 or 5 friends in the last 2 months. And you know, my current boyfriend has stomach and throat cancer. My other boyfriend that I had at the beginning of 2020, he got his feet cut off due to frostbite. And I'm just, it's just so hard to deal with all this stuff, you know? It's just really, really, really hard. But anyway, trying to just think of some Mandela effects and stuff that I've seen. I think I talked about Hershey's. Um, but all these other logos merging their letters and stuff. I mean, those are other Mandela effects, but there's almost too many to even mention because they're all doing that now. They're all merging their letters. I'm like, what's up with merging their letters, you know? Oh, yeah, Rush. I'll definitely. Hang on. Let me see if I can get to it though. Let me see if I can do it. Because I hate doing crap like this on my phone. I can do it so much easier on my computer. I mean, my phone is just like, let me see if I can find the link. Hang on. Uh, All right, so now I don't know. I can't understand how to use. All right, let me see if I can get. I think I gave you guys the link, but I'm gonna have to hang on a second because you might be backstage and I just can't see it. Gosh. This- Well, I would love to have Rosh on here, but I can't figure out how to do it. I can't do crap from my phone. Iman31, thank you for joining. I love you. Okay, so hang on a second. I gotta get this picture off me because if you guys could see my face right now, which maybe some of you did, it's effed up. It says you're backstage. Damn it. I don't know how to. I used to be able to do all this stuff. What the hell is going on? Oh, wait, here we go. Oh, here we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is the audio good?
Yes.
Awesome. Hey, how are you doing? Yeah, I can see you.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I kind of effed up my face a little bit. But what's going on with you these days?
Uh, I can hear like an echo. Hold on. Uh, do I have to? Do you hear echo?
I don't hear an echo, but
I don't know what I have to do. Hold on. Oh wait, I had it playing. Okay. Can you still hear me good?
yes.
Okay. Um, same old same. I've just been working and stuff, and I don't know, fighting the good fight. Okay, now I can't hear you.
Have you seen any like recent Mandelas or anything like that? And Iman, if
Um,
you want to, and Iman, if you want to come on too, well, or Salted or whoever. I mean, come on in if you want to. I mean, just let me know.
yeah,
But anyway, Rash, thank you so much for joining because it always helps when you have you know a fellow sister or brother, you know, right
yeah.
there. But Rash, have you seen anything recent, or I
Um,
mean, even if you
no.
haven't, just tell me what's going on in your life.
No, I haven't really. Probably I have. I know like little subtle changes around my area. Um, a lot of flip flops. People, the whole Chick-fil-A thing still goes on. People spelling it like without the K, and it's like I think we flip flop back with that one a lot. People that are not affected, they'll spell it with the K and then without the K. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, that happens a lot. And then just like a lot of changes in my area. But I mean, I haven't really noticed anything other than that, but I really don't watch like the news or anything or really look for anything, but I'm pretty sure there's tons.
Well, yeah, that's what I never watch the news except for the weather. I mean, I want to know what the weather's going to be. That's it. I don't care about anything else because I don't want to be influenced by anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want to I want to form my own opinions about things that are brought up or whatever. But it's also so depressing, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
it. And it's just like, why put yourself in that state when I actually have so many things going on in my life right now that I
Mm-hmm.
can't even deal with the news.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I really don't watch the news much either. Sometimes I do just to kind of get a glimpse into like what society's kind of going through, because it kind of helps to understand like why they're acting the way they're acting, because um for me a lot of stuff that happens in the news isn't real, but for them it is. And like the hostility that we get sometimes, you can kind of see where that comes from, and the fear that is based on, which can kind of help, because like the know your enemy kind of thing, know what they're doing, kind of helps out a little bit. But I mean, I don't like to let that into my life either. It's just a lot of fear, a lot of roller coasters they put people through.
oh, exactly. I agree with you 100%. I mean that's exactly why, I'm sorry,
Jeez.
I'm at my U-Haul unit and some alarm is going off. But anyway, but yeah, I don't like the news. I mean, I watch it for the weather, that's it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like to be, manipulated or influenced by media or anything like that, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I'm sorry, you guys. The whoever opened up their unit without like sliding their card or whatever. But anyway, this is the only reason I'm at my U-Haul unit is to charge my phone and to talk to you guys. But let's see. I'm trying to think of, well, I- did you ever notice like the most recent flip-flop that I've seen is Hershey's? Because it was apostrophe S and then it went to Hershey and now it's apostrophe S again. Did you notice that, Rash, or no?
Um, no, but for me, it's always been apostrophe S,
Hmm.
Hershey's.
Hmm.
Um, so I haven't noticed. I don't really like Hershey's, so I haven't like looked at the wrapper in a while. But for me, it's always been apostrophe S, Hershey's Kisses. Yeah.
Yeah, it just went to Hershey for a while and then it was apostrophe S. Well, at least for me. I mean, I know everybody in this community sees different things and that's no big deal, as long as we can discuss it and whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
like the one flip flop that made me totally go nuts and investigate all this stuff. And a lot of people know this already. I don't know if you do or not, but was Noxzema. Because Noxzema had a Z when I was a kid. I used it all the time. And then it went to Noxzema without the Z. And I'm like, I saw it in a Walmart and I'm like, oh, I wonder why they removed the Z. No big deal, whatever. And then all of a sudden it had a Z again. And I was like, that when I saw that, I knew that that wasn't possible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so the flip flops for me, well, and then Lowe's with the apostrophe S has changed as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for me anyway. And I don't know. I have like I probably I think it's under 10, but when you get to all these flip-flops, you're just like, what the heck? You know?
Yeah. After one flip flop, it's kind of like it just solidifies everything. That's all you
Yeah,
kind of need. Yeah.
right, exactly. But what other flip-flops have you seen?
Um, other than Chick-fil-A, I know there was a lot going on with the like when everything first started, there was a lot of flip-flopping with the Houston we have a problem, or Houston we had a problem. That flip-flopped a lot, like right before people's eyes, but all those videos are gone now. Um,
Definitely. That was one for me too.
yeah, that was flip-flopping. Like people were seeing it and like uploading videos when it was happening, as it was happening, and all those videos are gone. But that was a big one for when everything first started. I know Flintstones was one too.
Yeah, I that one I know has flip-flop for me as well, but I'm trying to even it's weird because sometimes you have double and triple memories, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
yeah.
so
It's
it's like
yeah, that happens. Yeah.
so it's so weird when you have like double and even triple memories of something, you
I
know?
think it's because it's not there's no one thing. That's why it's like you don't really get wrapped up too much into it, or you shouldn't, because it's I think it's all they're all like real. You know, there's different versions, and we experience all those different versions. Because I've had like double memories too, where I do remember both. You know, or you know what I mean, something like that, where you know it's kind of hard to know which one you know is real and which one is not. I think they all are. They're all
Mhm.
virgins. I mean, they have to be if they're in your memory, you know, because what is a memory, you know?
Well, what do you think our memories are? I mean, do you think I mean, I know, us as a community, we're not wrong in our memories, but what is memory? I mean, what is, you know, I I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but um what why would we see things differently than everybody else does, you know?
I just think a lot of us were just at a different a lot of us are at this stage where we're able to see more based off different circumstances. It has to be some type of awareness, a quiet within your mind to question and to see, you know. And it's hard to get that here because of all the you know the news, everything they throw at you. It's really hard to create that calm and to be able to push everything aside and to really see you know things for what they are. So I think a lot of us were just at that stage, you know, not to say that they can't reach it, but we just got there first kind of thing, maybe. I don't know.
Well, what do you think about like NPCs and all that? I mean, do you think like we're the real people and the rest of everybody else is NPCs, or do you think I mean, I know Patrick and I, have thought that we've died before. I mean,
Hmm.
do you think you've died at all?
Oh yeah, I've died before. I've died before that. Like I when I was a baby I died. I stopped breathing and I was like in the ICU unit when I was like when I was a kid. And then I had a suicide attempt. I think I died then. And there's been other times where I probably should have died, so I don't know if I did die or not. So I think yeah, a lot of us have died. That could be a factor too. Maybe we've seen something, or maybe we've been touched by something that allows us to, you know, be more aware. You know.
Well, the fact that we've died though doesn't mean that we've died because we're still here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like, I think I've died 4 or 5 times, possibly.
Yeah.
But I mean, do we go to an alternate universe every time? I mean, and
Hmm.
that's why we see the changes because I started seeing changes in 1982. But that's because I tried to commit suicide.
Hmm.
But maybe I did die then because I
Yeah.
saw in 1982 I saw well, the first one was John Deere because I lived on a farm, you know, and that's all we had was John Deere products,
Mm-hmm.
and it went from DEER to with an E on the end. I'm like, what the hell? Why? And
Mm-hmm.
then after that, I saw Charles Schultz, the Peanuts comic strip, go with the T to without the T. Sally Fields go to Field. Christopher Reeves go to Reeve. Rod's now this is a big one for me because I live near Sterling, Colorado, and so I always knew it was Rod Sterling from the Twilight Zone, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's Sterling, and I'm just like, I saw all those in the 80s and maybe even more. I'm not sure. I'll have to, go through my memory banks. But now that I'm so old, it's like hard to go through my memory banks. But anyway, I just, you know, I just and then what I also think of and what I want to ask you about is like, do you think so many people think it's CERN and all that, or D wave or whatever, but is it a retrocausality effect, or is it just that this stuff has been happening all the time?
Um, in my opinion, I would say this has been happening all the time, and we're finally experiencing it, or we finally can see it and experience it.
Yeah. I think it's been happening all the time too. I don't know. I think, and I don't believe in linear time anymore or anything like that. Um, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, past, present, and future. I don't know. I mean, if you've watched one of my favorite movies is Interstellar, and it goes into that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Have you seen that movie?
I haven't seen it.
But it's really good because it goes into like, the past, present, and future happening all at once. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it you should watch it if you haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, linear time. I mean, that's what you know. Maybe when we were children or whatever, that's what led to believe or whatever. I don't believe in linear time anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Brian Staley, hello. Fizzy Pop, hello. I just want to shout out some people in the chat. Hania, Namaya, love you. Brandon, I love you as well. Salted, obviously. Brenda Mitchell. Um, just looking at some of the people. Saji, thank you. Yeah, I haven't done live shows in a long time or even videos because I've just, I don't know if you've seen a lot of my recent ones that I've done, but I've just had a lot of issues in my life. Like one boyfriend got his feet cut off, and one has stomach and throat cancer, and then I've had like two or three other friends die recently, and it's just been horrible.
Yeah.
But I mean, I even tell my current boyfriend right now, the one that has stomach and throat cancer, I say, you know what, you know, even if you die on me in this universe, you're probably gonna wake up in another universe and maybe see a different version of me. I don't, you know,
Yeah, anything's possible, really.
I know exactly. Yeah. So, um, Trying to think of some other stuff that I've seen. I mostly see like, well, the Hershey's one was pretty big, but um I mostly see like just all these logos changing, like they're merging the letters and stuff. And I'm like, what is with that? Or they, like I don't know if it's AI and they're either they're merging the letters or they're taking off the dots off the I and the apostrophes and the dashes and stuff like that. I mean, what are your thoughts on if AI is controlling some of this?
Um, I think there are a lot of aspects that AI does control. But I think ultimately, I think things change when the majority of I think things change when like society changes. I think AI has a part in people changing, and then I think that's when things change. But I don't think. I mean, it depends on like what you believe, or like if you believe like simulation, then yeah. So I don't know, like it could be a combination of things. I don't put like everything in one box, but I do know, like I feel like AI does have a part in all of this. I just don't know how big that part is.
Well, have you ever researched into the black goo?
No.
The black goo is like um if you I did a video on it once, but it was Guy Cosvello, I think is his name. I'm not sure. It's something like that. But anyway, he he put it succinctly, and he put like a lot of things together, like chemtrails, black goo. Um, but anyway, like basically it's like meteors or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember right now because I'm not in my right brain, but but anyway, he 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 says that like these meteors came to this planet and there's black goo and this black goo is like some kind of AI intelligence, you know.
Hmm.
And it's so, maybe look into it if you want to. If not, no big deal. But oh my God, how come all these alarms are going off? All these people don't know how to use their darn cards to to turn off their alarm when they anyway, doesn't matter. But anyway, I think his name is Claude uh, Claude Valsvella or something like that. But I mean, I mean, definitely look into it if you're interested into it because the black goo, I think, is some kind of AI intelligence, you know.
Hmm.
So it is interesting.
Yeah, I'll look into that.
Oh my goodness. All right, so let me see if anybody else is in the chat that I need to shout out to. But yeah, please use your access card. Sorry, guys. I'm at my U-Haul storage unit right now, charging my phone. But anyway, so have you seen any like even just local things, like just local to you that
Oh
there
yeah,
have been changes?
yeah, I see a ton of those, because it's stuff I see every day, and I notice when it changes, just the whole feel, everything changes. Signs, exit signs on the highway change. Um, Landscape changes. It could be like a bunch of trees one day, and then just all open land the next. Yeah, so I see a bunch of changes like locally. Yeah.
I've only seen a few local changes, but like I remember the one of the very first, and actually it's actually one of my very first videos was when I this is when I lived in Alabama, and it was Michael. I lived on Michael Donald Avenue, and Michael Donald. I don't know if you know the history of it or whatever, but it was called the last lynching in America or whatever. Um, um, but his name was spelled differently, you know, and then all of a sudden it changed. Well, it was like EAL, and now it's AEL. And I'm like, no, I lived on Michael Donald Avenue. It was EAL when I got there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And and it's just I mean, I know spelling changes aren't as significant or even logo changes. Sometimes I diss that, you know, even though it does wake people up a little bit. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they're not as significant as geography or Bible or um, you know, anatomy changes, which, you know, I'm not good in anatomy at all, so I mean, I have no real clue about that stuff. But but I mean, I was like, how in the hell did this change? You know, from EAL to AEL. I
Mm-hmm.
lived on that street, you know, and you know, it's named after, you know, the the boy who got lynched or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was a horrible story. I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm not. But anyway, I just was like, how did his name change from EAL to AEL? Which, because, well, even like Chick-fil-A, you know, same thing. Like, you know, I remember in the 90s, you know, I always called it Chic-fil-A. I was like, it always bothered me that it was spelled that way, CHIC, you know? And so there was no reason for you know,
Yeah,
I
my cousin, when this is when like every back in like 2016. So when I brought that to her, like the Chick-fil-A, she like ate at Chick-fil-A all the time because there was one on her campus. And she remembered that it was without the K, but I don't know, it just for some reason it just didn't create any pause in her at all. Like I'm like, so what does that mean that it's never been just like without the K, it's always been chick, you know? Like what does that mean to you? And she was like, it just, I don't know, it just goes over her head. It's like nothing, like nonchalant. So I just don't understand why it doesn't create like the same kind of spark, you know, in like that it does in us with them, you know.
right. Well, have you noticed, like, have you seen the downloads on some people?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. When I was telling my one of my cousins about the kidney changes, I asked her what does she remember the kidneys being, and then she said the correct one, and I was like, no, this is where it is now, and she just changed like just like that. She was just
I
like,
know.
oh yeah, 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 it is up, and I'm like, how does it just change so drastically? That was my dog. Jesus, funny. How does it change so drastically, like so quickly? She's like, oh yeah, yeah, maybe that is right, and I'm like, okay. So I don't know why it's so different with them.
I have no idea either, but I've seen the download changes and relatives and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
remember I was watching Jeopardy one time, and you know, and they said, "What's the capital of Brazil?" And I was like, "Sao Paulo." And they said Brasilia, and I'm like, "Brasilia? What the fuck?" You know? You know? And then a relative of mine, I'm not gonna say who, but a relative of mine just like basically downloaded a Wikipedia article on Brasilia. Oh my God, these alarms! What the fuck, people? Use your card. But anyway, um, you know, she basically downloaded a Wikipedia article on Brasilia, and I'm like, I've never even heard of Brasilia before. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, it was well, for some people it was Rio, but for me it was Sao Paulo that was the capital. And that's what's weird too, is how these capitals change and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, you know? I mean, because there's been like a few capital, like Atlanta was never the capital for me of Georgia. It was either Augusta or Athens. I'm not sure because, that was from my childhood and stuff like that. But it was never Atlanta. And then uh, Salt Lake City was never the capital of Utah for me. I think it was Ogden. I don't know. Um, but I know that these things have changed,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just it's bizarre. But then when you see the download, when you basically, the person that you're talking to almost recites verbatim the Wikipedia article, you're like, what the heck? No, I
Yeah.
mean, what the heck? Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, you guys. Well, a lot of people think it was, people are commenting in the chat. A lot of people do think it was real, but for me it was always Sao Paulo. But but I mean, I can go with either one, but it was never Brasilia. You know? I mean, I never even heard of that city before, until it came up on Jeopardy. And I was like, what? No, no. All right, so people are saying 52 states, which I kind of go half and half on that. I don't have a real confirmation of, but I do remember that the those two parts of above Maine were actually states. So I don't know. What is your memory on
Yeah, I
the
remember
states?
52. When back in 2016, when I asked my cousin, she remembered 52, like learning that in school, and we graduated like a year apart. So that's what I remember 52, and then it changed to 50. So I don't know. I know it was Hawaii and Alaska that were the last to make 52, and they made 52. So
I wish I could remember that confirmly. Because I kind of have a feeling that I do, but I can't, sometimes, when people say stuff, it's like, well, maybe for me, but I'm not sure. And so, like, I don't like to say it, unless I know for sure. There's things
mhm.
I know for sure. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
know for sure because you have like a definite connection to it or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, but let's see. Let me look at this. Can you imagine losing on Jeopardy because of a Mandela effect and trying? Yeah, Saji, that's funny. Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like, how can you even, because of the Mandela effect, how can you even win on Jeopardy? You know what I mean? That's funny as hell. But anyway, but I have been to Hawaii and Alaska both. I haven't been to all the states, but I've been to Hawaii and Alaska.
uh,
But that's so funny. The reality changed. Sassy. Well, of course. That's why how can anybody win on Jeopardy that's Mandela affected, you know?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. But anyway, um, let's see if I can think of something else to talk about. But well, what are your thoughts? I mean, do you think it's CERN? Do you think it's D-Wave? Do you think it's just, well, I guess we already discussed this a little bit, but you just think it's always been happening?
Yeah, I think it's always been happening and we're just finally aware of it. Um, I think to be aware is a blessing, you know, so I don't think it's a bad thing. Um, but I don't really know exactly what's happening, you know. I couldn't tell you, but I feel like everything plays a little part, you know. I don't think it's all CERN. I think they do play a part. I think everyone's affected, in the sense that everyone's been affected by the changes. I think things change for CERN too, and they're probably stumped, if especially. But I think every side does have like awake people, so I don't know.
Well, yeah, and but do you think it's like, because I'm reading this book now. Well, I'm only halfway finished. I need to finish it. But the holographic universe, I mean, do you think it's a simulation at all or no?
um, well, for what I think it has to be. I think some things, like I don't think like the planets, everything we've been taught is clearly a lie. So it's all like a lot of it is CGI. I just think a lot is veiled and we don't see things for what they truly are. And I think a lot of it is simulation, but not in the sense that we're in a simulation necessarily, but we could be. But I think that we do see a lot of what we see isn't real. You know, not to say that the whole world is like that, but a lot of stuff that we're shown isn't real. So it's partly, yeah.
Well, and even when I mean, I live in Western Colorado, but when I go to Utah and I go to Canyonlands or the Arches, those are all national parks and stuff like that. It doesn't it it looks like CGI to me. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
look real. You know what I mean? And
Um,
so,
that has happened to me too. Some stuff that I've seen, I took a picture of a couple of things, like some flowers. They literally look like CGI. Like it doesn't like I'm looking at anything real right before my eyes. I can touch it. It feels real, but and it's like a disconnect there where I just can't even process it. Kind of, you know, like because what I'm looking at doesn't look real. What I'm touching feels real, and it's just like this blurry line kind of thing. So that's happened to me too. Um, I mean, so that does kind of, I don't know. I really can't tell you. A lot of aspects of our reality just feel like it's a simulation or a hologram, you know. So
well,
some stuff
yeah,
is real, some stuff
because
isn't. Yeah.
but it's like, why didn't I ever see this ever before? You know? And just in the last, well, I mean, like I said, I've seen changes since '82, but it's only been in the last 5 years that I've you know processed it differently, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
and just looking at stuff sometimes I'm like, that doesn't even look real. It doesn't. It
Mhm.
looks like a computer program to me, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, I think the more we wake up and the more we're experiencing and stuff, we are seeing a lot more, you know, like even the emotions isn't real, like especially on the news and stuff. We're starting to see that more. So yeah, I think the more you wake up, the more you see.
Yeah.
Just to think like when I was younger, the stuff I believed, you know, none of it was real. All of it was just made up for fear, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I know that, like, there's only a couple people that go back. Oh my God, another alarm. Why do these people not use their cards? I use my card every
It's
time
like
I come in here.
the
Jeez.
Matrix. No one's gonna use the card the Matrix.
But but anyway, I think like the only person that I think experienced changes before I did that I know of is Suso. And I think his was like just maybe a year or two before mine, something like that.
Mhm.
But he experienced changes from like 80 or 81 and I started in 82. But I still wonder though, was it really then or was it just like a retrocausality that, you know, I don't know. I'm still curious about that, because it
The
it
only
feels like it
change.
was.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it was just like, it feels like it was at that time, because I remember that tractor or combine coming on the yard because I lived on a farm. And I was just like, what the heck? So it feels like it's real, but is it? That's what I wonder too, Is it a retrocausality? Is it I don't know.
Um. Well, I definitely don't believe time is linear. I think when we look back on some of our memories, we see things through different eyes, obviously, as we are experiencing more of this stuff. And um, the only change that I remember from being a kid, because for me, it wasn't a possibility. Like, I never even had the possibility in my brain that reality can change until like much later, like 2016, around then. And then I start seeing all this stuff. The only one that I do remember from being a kid was the word "a lot." I know it was one word. I even got into arguments with my teachers over it. In essays, I just remember they always tried to correct me on that word, and I just knew that it was one word. That's the only one I remember from like
Mhm.
before 2016. Other than that, stuff I look back at now, I see through a different perspective. Other than that, I can't really remember much.
Yeah, well, for me, one of the definitely was spelled totally differently. I mean, it was because I don't know why, why would you remember a word spelled differently? Like it was for me, definitely was DEF. Hang on. Well, it was INATELY. That's how it was. Well, and rhythm was different too. I mean, it had an N on it. Well, no, a lot of people talk about dilemma,
Mm-hmm.
that it had an N in it and stuff. And why would these spelling changes occur? I mean, it's just weird. I don't know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and of course those aren't as important as like geography or Bible or anatomy changes or stuff like that, but it does wake people up though,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because they're like, this wasn't like this before, But why would I know that definitely was spelled definitely, basically, instead of the way it's spelled now, or rhythm had an N on the end, and dilemma had an N in it, and I just, you know, w- I don't I don't know. It's just bizarre. It's bizarre. But
Yeah.
let's see. Let's go see what's in the chat here. Yeah, even Honey Ann says dilemma. What do you notice the most? Do you notice logo changes or geography changes or spelling changes? I mean, what do you notice the most?
Um, the most I noticed the most like changes in people. Um, drastic changes in people, like from what we used to talk about to how like their perspective on things now. Um, I guess I would say not so much spelling. If anything, I would say logos. But yeah, mostly just the changes in like people. Um,
Mhm.
the foundations, like their foundations changing, which I mean, I guess that's how everything is because for something to change, like even a logo or it starts from the beginning, you know, when it was first created. So I noticed like the changes, like people's like, I mean, and that's what makes a person is like their foundation through like their experience, if their whole like what they stand on change. I don't know, it's scary kind of.
Yeah, people have changed. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's what's disturbing is when, especially if it's family members or friends or whatever, and then you see that they treat you differently or I don't know, or they seem like robots or zombies or whatever or NPCs. I mean, do you
Hmm.
believe in NPCs or cloning or
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I do believe there are people that are not real, that are artificial. Um, I do believe in cloning as well to an extent, you know. But I don't think NPCs. I don't think are human, you know. So I don't think they're literally just like made up, you know, like made up people. Um, I wouldn't call the unaffected NPCs.
Mhm.
Um, but so I don't know, it depends on how you define that. But for me, an NPC is like a made up person that doesn't have a soul, is not real, controlled maybe by AI, controlled by something, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and I do believe in cloning because I mean we've seen that with like especially like the elite and stuff. The clones they put out are some of them are really shitty, and some of them you can clearly see that yeah it's them, but it's not them.
Exactly. I mean, it's just like they almost change overnight or I don't know. They're not the original person that they were or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Now now also let's talk about like uh have uh, well, Mandela effect obviously is named after Mandela because for me he died in prison. And when he
Hmm.
became president of South Africa, I was like, "What the fuck? He died," you know? But even Billy Graham died for me 3 times. Now, have you what are your thoughts on, like, other people or even those 2 people or whatever? Um, what have you seen that?
um
And have you
I
seen
don't
people who die and come back to life?
I can't say like for sure, you know, I do have like some memory of some people dying, like but I don't have any really like anchor memories on like Mandela. Uh so I couldn't tell you. Some
I guess you're
people, I
younger
mean,
than me, so it's
yeah,
different, but
it's like a lot of the stuff you guys like I really don't have any anchor memories to it. I couldn't tell you either way, you know.
mhm.
So yeah, I wouldn't even add to it. I mean, for me, I think I remember him dying in prison, but I can't say for sure, so I wouldn't even say
Right.
you know, like for sure, yeah.
Yeah, for me, he definitely died in prison.
Mhm.
So, for me, it's a little bit different. And then also Billy Graham dying 3 times, and then Kirk Douglas. I mean, I remember Michael Douglas coming out from the funeral and saying stuff about his dad. And well, I don't know if he's dead or alive right now, but if he is alive, he's like 102 years old, you know?
Mhm.
And I remember Mike Douglas coming out from his dad's funeral and talking about it, you know? And then all of a sudden he was alive again, and I'm just like, I mean, and that's crazy. I mean, what's the deal with that? But you know what I do think is we live in a, you know, now, or we recognize as a quantum world where, instead of, a binary code, yes or no, it's yes, no, both, or neither. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so when it's both, you know, when it's both, that means that people can come back alive again, or we're just transferring to different universes. I'm not sure, whatever. I mean, who knows what the heck's
Mm-hmm.
going on, But I had a train of thought I wanted to go to on that as well.
I
I can't
think
think of it.
also like being affected, we're able to really experience all of those, both yes, no, and both, you know.
Mhm.
What would
Yeah.
be crazy? What if we get to a point we can experience it all at once?
Right.
They're
Yeah.
alive and dead at the same time. Yeah.
Well, even the Sinbad movie. I don't know if you know about that
That
Mandela
was when
effect.
my cousin literally, like, she's changed so much now. Like I couldn't. It's hard to even get her to like to stop from taking the vax. You know, at this point. But in the beginning, she saw so much. And that was one of her big ones because we watched it as kids. And she like ran me through the movie, and she was like, she wasn't like totally like awake, but she was like, they can't tell me this movie didn't exist. Like I know we watched it, you know. So yeah, that's a
But
big
see,
one.
that's an example of the quantum, because
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't exist anymore, you
Yeah.
know? You know? And so like my sons and I watched that movie together, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And even they, well, I've done interviews with my sons. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're actually both pretty good interviews. But anyway, you know, we watched that when they were tiny. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we watched it. I mean, I know we did. And it doesn't exist anymore. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
You can't find a record of it anywhere. I don't know. It's just, well, and then when the Shaq movie came out that was kind of similar to that, I was like, why are they doing this one when the Sinbad one is, I don't know. I don't know. But so what are some of your like movies that have changed like lines?
Let me think. Um, hmm.
I
I
mean,
can't think. I
were
can't
you
really
a
think of any
Star
off the top. Yeah.
were you a Star Wars fan, or like
I
Field of
wasn't. I
Dreams,
haven't
or
even like watched a full Star Wars movie or
Oh, really?
Star
Oh
Trek
my
or
goodness.
anything. No, so I do remember like Luke, I am your father, like that, just because everyone, you know, like, but I didn't like watch the original like when it first came out, but I just know I've seen that him say that before, and I know that's, you know, but it's hard to think of one off the top, you know, but no, I'm not a like Star Trek fan, or not. It's not Star Trek, it's Star Wars. Sorry. Oh, it's just me. Oh no. Back to the Future changed a lot. Wizard of Oz, Scarecrow with the gun. Yeah. Oh yeah, Fly My Pretties. Okay, Wizard of Oz, I can say, because that came on all the time when we were kids, during Thanksgiving and stuff, and that would be on repeat. I mean, they played The Wizard of Oz on repeat, along with like a couple other movies. During Christmas, A Christmas Story, they would play it on repeat. So I've seen The Wizard of Oz like hundreds of times. I know she said "Fly My Pretties." We were like quote lines and stuff. The Scarecrow with the gun was funny, and I think that was one maybe I saw before before 2016 because I remember my cousin was like, "When did he get a gun?" So I think that one was actually when I saw before 2016. Uh, and I've never really seen Back to the Future all. I've seen clips of it, but I've never like sat down and watched all the movies. So um, can you feel Lucky Punk? Well, do you? uh, I don't know. Uh, Trying to read the chat a little. I'm gonna go up some. I saw like earlier, Brenda said we're merging and the timelines are collapsing. That is a theory I can get behind because I do see a lot of merging. Um, as far as yeah, I do just see a lot of merging as far as like memories and just a lot of the like the changes as general like the Mandela effects and stuff. Okay, there's Rain.
Okay, I'm sorry. Uh, I can't stand my phone. I mean, I can do so much more with my computer, and sometimes I f things up when I get on my phone. But anyways, um, uh, so you were talk. I heard you talking about the Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah, The Wizard of Oz, I would say, is maybe like an anchor memory. I think that was another one that I remember prior to 2016 because my cousin even mentioned like when did he get a gun, and we were laughing. To us, it was just funny. Like when did he get a gun? We never really thought like how did they, put the gun in there? Like because we were like so young, so we didn't really like realize reality's changing. But I do remember
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Field of Dreams is definitely one for me. Build it and they will come and instead of he will come. And then trying to think. Well, obviously Star Wars Luke, I am your father instead of
Hmm.
no, I am your father. That's a definite one for me. Um trying to think just of other. But the
Um,
but the but it's just so weird though, because when you see something and you see it change, you're like, at first, especially before we've been researching this for 4 or 5 years or whatever, at first you're like, "Well, maybe I just, didn't see it right or whatever." And then
mhm.
now we're like, "No, I definitely did." You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Honey Ann says she's backstage.
Yeah, I'm trying to see it. That's what I was trying to do,
Oh,
was to
okay.
get her on here, and that's why I let me see. See, I can't do it from my and Patrick's on. Love you, Patrick. Bit of venom. Thank you.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
from
know, Honey Ann, if I can't get you backstage, I'm sorry. It's just that when I tried to do it earlier, then that's when I got kicked off. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Um, I don't know. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Honey Ann, are you there? I think
I'm
I
gonna turn
was
up the volume.
able to.
I can hear.
Okay, great. Great.
I'm
um
here.
I'm gonna jump off because I have to like do stuff. So it was nice chatting with you.
Yeah, Rush, thanks so much for being on the stream. Thank
Yeah, I
you so
haven't
much.
been on a stream in like probably over a year, couple years. I don't know, But yeah, this was awesome.
Thank you so much for joining, because you
I'm
really
sorry
added
you're
to the
leaving.
discussion.
I'm sorry she's leaving. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll probably join another time, definitely.
All right, great. Thank you so much. You
Okay,
take care, okay?
you too. All right, bye.
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 So, Hannah Ann, what's up with you?
I was just wanting to pop in real fast because I've got a lot of stuff to do too. But you know how we keep talking about how the dead keep coming back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, have I told you that I have a theory on that? Because in biblical research, I've found in the book of Jude where it talks about the Pleiadians being twice dead, defiling their own flesh and being body snatchers. So what if there's several different things occurring? You know, it's not just one big massive lump of weird. You know, it's all different kinds of things happening at one time. You know, that we're just waking up and noticing. You know,
Yeah.
like when these movie stars die, you know, at the moment of their death, when they're been expelled, the soul's been expelled from the body, you know, these Pleiadians could be hopping in and impersonating the dead, like the book of Jude says.
Oh my goodness. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
Never,
because
I never thought about that, but
yeah. Yeah. It says that they defile their own flesh. They're twice dead. Uh-huh. And they're impersonating the dead.
oh my
So
goodness.
there you have it. And then also, you know, one time about Rain, I hadn't talked to you since then, and I was wanting to talk to you so bad to tell you this. It's been about 8 months ago. I was just sitting there, God, just let me know what's going on. How come my reality is so weird? And I was just, you know, in deep thought with him. And he told me to take a dime out and to take the dime and put it on, sit it down on the table, looking at the face and looking at the back of it. And you know, he literally showed me that Eisenhower's still on our dime. It's just that there's a layer, a false layer that's been put on top of it where we see Roosevelt now. I can literally see Eisenhower on the dime still. He's under Roosevelt.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I mean, I remember, that it was an Eisenhower. I mean, I
Yes.
definitely remember that. I'm not saying that. But I mean, you can see the Eisenhower underneath it?
Yes, I can still see Eisenhower there. I was woke up to that and given that ability. And so that has something to do with what I've been telling you guys for 100 years now, that's something to do with layering on our reality. There's a false reality, maybe that AI, you know, is functioning with maybe fallen angel entities, Anunnaki, whatever you want to call them, you know, and they're doing something with our reality with the layers. You know, they're shielding the truth from us, you know.
Yeah. I
And with the sun, I really feel like maybe our sun's about to go supernova, and they're just not telling us. That's why they're doing all the chemtrailing to save our butts from radiation. You know, and that's another one I've come up with. I hadn't talked to you in so long. I've got so many theories. I just wanted to throw your way. Let me mess with your
Oh
mind a
no,
little bit.
I'm so glad you came on, because I know we haven't talked in a while.
Yeah, yeah.
And but I've always I've been around and in some chats and stuff like that, but I've just had a hard year, you know.
Yeah. Well, you want to talk about a hard year. I took my daughter's a nurse. I asked her not to take that damn shot. And she did the research and she decided to do it. She took the AstraZeneca shot and then she went and had a mammogram last week. And I've got to go with her on my birthday tomorrow to have a biopsy done because they think she has cancer.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You know,
Oh my goodness.
yep. I keep noticing all these people, you know, with taking the sleever that they are becoming sick, they're dying, they're getting blood clots and all kind of stuff. And it's just so upsetting to me that my own daughter wouldn't listen to me. I'm just going to claim that she's well. I'm going to claim that she's well. She's only 26 years old and she's got 2 babies. You know, I'm just keeping.
Manifest it. I
Yeah, that's
mean,
what I'm saying. I'm claiming she's well, and I'm going to continue to believe that in my heart, in my mind, in my spirit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't think we could manifest $1 million or anything like that, but I do think we can manifest part of our reality, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I believe in hands on, you know, laying hands on the sick and healing. My whole family has that
Mhm.
ability. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's just I've
Well,
always
let me
been the
just,
weaker link. Go ahead.
Patrick, I love you. Bit of Venom, thank you. Kevin T. Um, I'm trying to see who else. Fizzy, thank you. JW, awesome. I love you too. If anyone wants to join, I'll try to send a link, but I mean, I I'm inept at my phone, but I'm great with the computer. I can do it no problem with my computer. I don't know why I can't do it with my Joner Games. Thank you for joining as well. But like if anyone else wants to join, I'll try to send you a link. Oh, honey, did you drop out? But anyway, yeah, it's it's a struggle. I don't know. But let me see if I can add the link to this. I'm trying to add something here, but we'll see if it'll work. I don't know if it will or not. But anyway, I so enjoyed having Honey on, and Honey Ann, if you tell me if you're backstage. Okay, great, Patrick. You're doing a live stream tonight around 9:30 Central, so that'll be 8:30 my time, I guess. But anyway, guys, I'm sorry. I just keep dropping. I'm inept with my phone. I mean, I can do it when I have my computer easily, but for some reason, my phone is just whatever. But but anyone, I think I posted in the chat the link if anybody wants to go backstage. Well, yes, Rain, you better be there tonight. Well, I want to be for sure. I don't know. Sometimes my boyfriend gets irritated with me on stuff like this, even though he's ME affected as well. But he just he just doesn't care, I guess, you know. And then he also has, you know, like I've said before on some broadcasts, he has some top secret military information and all that. Honey Ann, I didn't mean to. I don't know how you got booted off. I think I put the link in there again. So, oh my God, these alarms. Holy shit. How come these people can't use their freaking cards to? Yeah, StreamYard doesn't work well on phone. I mean, I do so much better when I have, you know, my computer out, but, well, I have my computer, but it's in my storage unit here at the U-Haul where the alarms keep going off, but it's like buried underneath all kinds of crap. Well, JW, why don't you come on? But anyway, anybody that, you know, just let me know if you guys are backstage because I mean, especially, well, any of you really. I love it, all of you. All of y'all. I'm not even Southern, but I lived in the South for 20 years. But I love all of y'all, and anybody can come on if they want to. Scarab. Nice to see you, Scarab. Well, honey, do you want, if you want to come back on, just click on that link up above. Or, you know, because we were having a really good conversation. But yeah, I mean, it's been a tough, I mean, I don't know if you saw my previous videos, but it's been a tough year for me. That's why I didn't do very many videos for a while, but I've still been researching and I've still, you know, believe all the same things. I'm still here. You know, I don't know what else I can say about all that, but you know, I okay. Yeah, honey, and try to. Okay, let me see. I might be able to. Oh, Debbie's gonna come in. Yay!
All right, what do you want to talk about?
Anything. What's up with you? I love you. You know that.
You too. Just took a couple days off there on college kids are on spring break this week, so yeah. So I'm taking a couple days off. I'm gonna go get tacos and pie and a Coke today.
So that's your agenda.
Yeah. But I
So,
took the day off specifically for that.
so tell me, what else is going on as far as like your restaurant or, your kids or whatever, or if you've seen any recent Mandela effects or whatever.
Well, Mandela effect. So I quit like spending day in and day out looking at Mandela effects, and I recognize them when people talk about it, but I don't usually like go looking for them. So I don't know. Um, but what I do know is whatever I put my attention on happens and comes into my reality. I've been playing a lot with like mind stuff and like trying to manifest things in my reality, and it 100% works at all times, especially if you don't allow yourself to have limits, because I think like limits are only placed upon you if you like say it's a limit. And I don't know, it's weird, but like it's fun too to like play around in this new place that we're playing around in, kind of like trying to look for the best of things, because not everything's really the best anymore. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, is just like, I don't know. Some things might be better, but most things are worse, you know. Um, I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know. I just
my kids are doing beautifully. We're on the school schedule right now. Last year they went to school here, but then like COVID sent them home, so they spent Um, anyway, they were going to school here, so I had them like Monday through Friday, and then they would go with their mom on Friday through Sunday, you know. And this year it swapped because they wanted to go to school where they've been going to school. Because I live in a different town now. I actually just live across the street from where I work, like 20-second walk to work in the morning. So that's a lot better.
yeah, I
But
saw that on one of your videos. I wish you wouldn't take all your videos down. I understand why you do, but because especially that double rainbow or that upside down rainbow, that was the coolest video ever. I wish I would have recorded that.
I still got it on private and crap. I don't know. I've gone through some stages where I've deleted everything and then been pissed that I deleted everything and then recorded a bunch more and then deleted again and then was like, what the hell? Why do I keep deleting them? So this time I just put them on private after a little while.
Well, that's what I kept telling Digi too, because I was like, you take your channels down all the time, but which is fine, but you don't have to necessarily delete everything. You can just, put it on private, like you said,
Yeah.
because there's lots of like interviews that I've done with Digi and on his channel and my channel, but I miss Digi so much. I mean, but I was like, Digi, you don't have to take your entire channel down, just put it on private or whatever, or but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I don't know. Taking it down for some reason at the time feels like the right thing to do, so I just do it. But I'm not trying to. I'm past
Well,
all this
can you
crap
can you s-
where I don't have videos where I really care if anybody besides those that follow and pay attention and matter to me the most, like see them, and those people that matter to me the most will see him within the first day or two, and then that's it. So
Yeah, well, yeah,
Cause,
but
cause
yeah, but
I ain't reaching like, I could put Mandela effect on there, but I'm not reaching like, 3/4 of the Mandela effect community. Even people that know me don't watch my crap. Like, and
well,
I step into a room anymore and I get the same friendly faces say hi, but half the time I don't even know who's who anymore in there.
I've always watched your channel, but for a while I was just too,
You're shagging. Just
yeah.
kidding.
I hadn't been there, and it wasn't because of anyone or anything. It was just like things personally going on with my life. You know what I mean?
I do.
And
Yeah, and last year was rough for a lot of people. I personally didn't like wasn't too rough for me. I kind of followed along and was looking and seeing what was going on and ran my restaurant accordingly. I stayed open the whole time. Like I closed for a week or two here or there just because nobody was eating out anywhere. And I mean, I'm still dealing with it. I got half the people that don't give a shit, and the other half that are really still scared to go into public, but they come in and eat and support my restaurant because like they like my food. But like I get people like in there that won't wear a mask and all that, which I haven't at all. Like even during the mixed of it, like people came in and ate regardless if I was wearing a mask or not. Like they didn't say a word, they didn't do nothing, right? But
mm,
and it doesn't seem to like stop people from coming in my business. Like they don't care that I don't wear a mask apparently because they keep coming. So,
well, I mean,
but when
and what
it's
do the
full,
masks do, really? I mean, they're not going to stop anything, anyways. You know what I mean? I just think it's ridiculous, but
yeah,
whatever.
I did have to post on our on my business
Just
stuff.
legally, right?
I posted once on the things I do, like just to put people at ease. Like I go shopping early in the morning when nobody's there. And like people don't understand. I wash my hands more than probably anybody does. Like in a year, I wash my hands that amount of times in a day just because of what I do.
Right.
And so, like, if they're scared to eat in there, like, whatever, it's not my problem at that point. But
I still want to eat at your restaurant sometime.
no,
Well, I've
yeah,
been thinking about I'm probably gonna move, and I'm not
uh,
sure where, but it's either gonna be Alaska, Idaho, Montana, or Oregon.
well,
But
if you move anywhere but Idaho, you'll probably have to travel through Idaho to get there. So you could always stop by and get lunch on your way through.
yeah, definitely. That would be awesome.
If you're
But
looking for
I want to
climate,
meet you in real life. I want to meet you in real life because the only person in the community that I've met is Suso. I went up to his bar specifically to meet him, and it was so. I've told this on my channel before, but I was giving him shit. I'm like, what is this about the Mandela effect? I don't, you guys are crazy and blah 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 blah. And he's like, well, and he's trying to explain to me stuff about it, and I'm like, do you know who you're talking to? Because he was actually the first live person that I ever had on my channel, and I'm like, "Do you know who you're talking to?" Right on the planes, and he ran around the bar and gave me a hug and showed me
he's
around
a fun going
everything.
guy. I've only met him that time at the conference, and he's a fun going, easy to talk to, easy to like be around kind of person.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he's fun.
yeah, but
Um,
but he's the only one that I've actually met in real life. but
I met him and Eva and
oh,
Scarab
Eva's
was
awesome. I would love to meet her in real life too.
Scarab was sick, so like I was only there the one night, but he wasn't there the night I was there, and then I think he was there, but I was like, um, I didn't recognize him. Right, he showed up at the very end, so I didn't say anything to him, but. And then being around like Cynthia and Shane and all the people that were at that Mandela Effect conference in Sun Valley, Dark Wolf's Den and um,
But Cynthia was there too.
yeah, she was there. I was a little intimidated to like say hi to her, but I did, and it was cool. I asked her a question, I think, or I asked everyone a question. Yeah.
Cynthia's cool because she actually has recognized all this stuff from way before as well. You know what I mean? I mean, I started experiencing MEs in '82, but I think she may have even been earlier.
Hey, I don't know if this has ever been talked about, but probably has because I only recognize shit and don't say things. And then when I do, like I tried some of those Facebook groups, but the gatekeepers are really quick to say that it's already been talked about, take your post down, or it's not an ME or whatever bullshit. But like I was thinking about it, we were eating ketchup the other day, and I remember it being cat soup. Like CATSOUP.
Mm-hmm.
You're like
I
we
remember
still
it both ways. That's
like
what's weird
soup
about the
seen
ME
it
though.
way at all. Like lately, it's not spelled that way on any. I remember ketchup also, but like now I don't see anything about cat soup.
Yeah, it's weird how you can have like dual and triple memories though, because I have dual and triple, like especially Cheez-Its. I have like I think triple memories on that, on how it was spelled and how it was done and all that. It's weird how people can, or how we can have like dual and triple memories and all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, I don't know. I did that one video, or maybe I didn't do a video, but like a recent thing that went down, and this is kind of like a timeline thing. Maybe I talked about it, maybe I didn't, but I'll just talk about it real quick because most people probably didn't hear me anyway. The first, if I did post the video, but so like, I'm around a lot of people every day and I get to know certain people. But the last one, this guy that I know really well showed up into my restaurant on a Friday and he was clean shaven. I'd say about 140-pound guy, right? Like no girlfriend, had a job, he'd been working for months and like a couple months he had this job. Well, on Monday, he come in about 100 pounds heavier with a full beard and a girlfriend that he never had, but they've been together for most of a year, and he's been at this job for about a year. Like it's so weird, like some of those things. And I know the guy personally. He was the one guy that I did like well, I don't know, it was a little weird. I'm not gonna get into it too much, but he showed up and one thing led to another, and I was like praying for Jesus and angels to come get rid of the damn demons out of him. 'Cause he ended up on my floor, like I mean, like his head spinning and puking and screaming and all sorts of shit, and I didn't know what to do but just go pray and put my hand on him and ask to like get rid of all the crap or whatever, But anyway, that guy, like, I know him pretty good. He's been coming in for like 3 years. So I recognized right away. It's not like, oh, I haven't seen him in a year. It was Friday he come in and Monday he come in and 100 pounds heavier with a full beard and a girlfriend and all this and that, that he'd been with for over a year. He'd been with this girl for like a year. And I know damn well, like a year ago, he got a divorce from his wife. And he'd been single since up until that Friday. But then Monday, the new timeline, he'd been with this girl for like a year. So it's weird to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's well, and then even like, Guy Fawkes has talked about like how, he did business at this, location for years and years and years. And then all of a sudden it like just totally moved like 2 or 3 miles away, and it
Yeah.
wasn't like a change, you know what I mean? It
Well,
was,
this same thing, it's like the end result is there's a business, but there's slight differences, right? Like where the business is located, um, or in particular, like that one time loop I experienced, or timeline shift with the raccoons. And 1 year later, it was a raccoon dead in the same bush, facing the same way, exactly 1 year apart. But this time it was a male raccoon instead of a female raccoon. Like, for a
hmm,
raccoon to die in any specific place is like a 1 in whatever billion chance, right? But then you get another one die exactly a year later on the same day in the same place, facing the same direction. Like, is that even, it's possible, but, is it?
well, the statistics on that would be almost totally
Yeah,
improbable, but
yeah, well, it happened, but I don't think it just happened because of coincidence. I think personally it was just like a timeline loop kind of thing or something. Because I
probably.
don't know, I've experienced some loops, and that's what I chalked it up to, is some kind of forward moving loop that we go through or something.
Have
But
you
like
experienced repeats?
moving forward, but like it still loops around on each other as it's moving forward.
Have you experienced repeats?
Repeat, like customers.
Well, no, what I mean is like, for me, I've only had this happen a few times. It hasn't been that much, but like all of a sudden, like the same minute or the same 30 seconds will repeat.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, and when I seen the aliens, that happened too, like, but that was some mind wipe Men in Black shit, I think. I don't know, but yeah, I have, like, where that one glitch that I seen where the cashier like rang up the bread and bagged it, and then like somebody distracted me, and I looked back and the bread was on the conveyor belt again, and they was bagging up the bread again.
Oh my goodness.
That kind of repeat. I experience that stuff from time to time, and if you're not paying attention, like most people don't, like nobody there even like had a clue, not even the cashier. Like,
Hmm.
but I seen it. I didn't. I didn't. Oh, sorry. My hash browns are trying to like burp up or something. But yeah, I don't ever say nothing because nobody sees it anyway.
Well, hardly anybody, but yeah.
I mean, there's people that do, but like nobody around me really notices any of that crap. So
Right.
I quit talking about really anything to anything. There's been a lot of people like come in though that um want to talk about like spiritual type things or whatever. And so I get into conversations about that, but I don't go on and on about things because like I gave up on that years ago. It's just people can't handle it. It's weird. People end up like glitching out and doing weird crap. So
Yeah, I don't know. What's freaky to me though is when like your friends or family members get a download, you know, because like all of a sudden they'll agree with you about something and then all of a sudden they'll change and then they basically recite a Wikipedia article, you
They
know.
they do the like, and then they say, "Oh well, yeah, it's this way," and then they get up and leave.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
My
it's
dad did that last time, like when I tried the whole JFK thing, and he said like, there's four people in the car, this and that, and I left it alone. I never said nothing, and then on Christmas, just barely Christmas, I was at my brother's house, and I brought it up again, um, and and he said he hadn't looked at it or nothing. I was like, well, go look. Like, tell me that there's four people in the car, and he did, and he's like, oh, and he did the dang, the well, I
the
was wrong.
download.
There
Yeah.
was six people, and well, and besides, I was just a kid, and I was like, well, yeah, you may have been a kid, but you were a lot closer to it than I was, and you studied it in
I know.
school,
I
I'm
mean, we
sure.
all had JFK in our history, you know.
And he looks over at my mom, and he says instantly, he's like, "Come on, we gotta go," and they left.
Yeah, it's
my
just
my
weird.
brother's my brother's okay to talk to about it, but what my brother says is, and he likes to argue like about it and whatnot, and he's not saying that what I'm experiencing isn't what I'm experiencing, but he says he'll never see it because he doesn't want to. He's like, I just want to live in my own little world and not deal with any of the weird shit that you're dealing with. So like,
Well, that's what. Well, even my boyfriend right now. I mean, he recognizes all this stuff, but he just doesn't care, you know. And I'm just like, I just don't understand how people don't care, you know. I mean, I don't know. It's
well, then you look at, and I'm not saying things are or aren't one way or another. It is or isn't what it is. But man, if we're not in end times, I don't know what the heck we're in, because it seems like we are, personally to me, and it's a lot different than I imagined it would be. But the things are still happening, like as it says it's going to happen. So,
exactly.
like, I mean, me and you could both read the same book and have a different interpretation of what it means or how it plays out or what it looks like in reality. But, so I don't know if it's not, then good, but if it is, then good too, I guess, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just, I mean,
I do
I
know I
guess.
don't want to live in this shit though. Like I don't like this control bullshit. There ain't nobody here on this planet that controls me. Like, and they can shove it up their asses if they think they can. That's the way I look at it.
Oh, exactly. I believe this. I agree with you 100% on that. I mean, because, but I think that's why we have a different mindset than the people who can't see stuff, you know, because,
Yeah,
they're
right.
just basically sheep, they just basically, I mean, you see people wearing masks in their car by themselves. And I'm like, that's ludicrous. I mean, why? I mean, are you trying to get you know keep the covid from yourself? I mean, I mean, why?
Yeah,
I don't understand it,
I got a
but
question for you and everybody else. Have you been dropped on your head ever? Or like, had a brain injury of any kind?
well, 2 years ago, I jumped off this ledge, which I shouldn't have done. Thought I was 21 instead of 51. But and I had a dent in my forehead even.
Did you go
So
conscience or anything, or does feel like it's
no, but the ER was called and they did all these MRIs and all this stuff and they said nothing was wrong, but I mean, I've lost hearing out of one of my ears and I don't know.
I
There's
kind
just
of
been a lot of stuff happened since that incident happened, you know? So
because some of us like aren't programmable because we've like damaged the computer, for example.
well, maybe that's true. Maybe that's true.
I've been knocked in the head, I don't know, I got this scar right here from I fell. We were like jug wine night and we were like saying haikus and then we'd tip back the big old jug of like the big gallon jug, of wine. And I guess I went a little far and cracked my skull on the sidewalk. Well, I woke up in the back of a van. My friends were like cleaned out their seats and loaded me up in the back of their van. Was going to take me to a hospital and I come to and like was like, what the hell? I get out and my face is all covered in blood, but like, I didn't know what happened. But like that was one of the major ones where I knocked myself unconscious, and I got thinking, I wonder if it's because I scrambled my brains a little bit too many.
No, I agree with you because I face planted like 20 feet away from where I was staying and but I held my beer up high. I didn't spill my beer.
Yeah, nice job.
but I just
I
went boom and my boyfriend was like, how did you do that? You were only 20 feet away. And I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, so I did that, but I held my beer up high and I didn't spill my beer. I mean, it's kind of
You gotta
embarrassing
have
to admit,
priorities.
but
You're going down and you gotta say what's important. The face isn't really that important, but the beer is important.
exactly. Okay, so let me shout out to a couple people here and here. Anna Dilla, thank you for being here, and also Texas Danny, awesome. And I really remember Texas Danny because wait, let's see here. Because he didn't believe me at first on the whole Dallas situation, and then he looked at the map and he's like, "Oh my God," you know, because that's what actually one of my most popular videos, and I was one of the first people to post it. You know how, you know, but then I kept saying, "Well, Dallas changed no locations," but then someone commented, "Well." I don't think Dallas necessarily changed locations. I think we've changed locations.
Yeah.
And then it kind of opened up my brain a little bit more, to stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I don't know. I'm kind of on the just because of the kind of things that I see. I don't know exactly, but I think it's like the shift from like one timeline to another timeline to another timeline. And but then there you play into the different parts of the like solar system too, like Sagittarius and the different parts in Orion that we're in and all that kind of crap. I don't know how that works in, but
Well, yeah, I
it's
know
cool.
because Carl Sagan would always say we're on the Sagittarius arm, clear on the outside of the galaxy, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden we're in on the Orion spur, and then I guess now we're maybe in the Perseus, whatever. I don't know. I haven't looked into it that much. I need to. Chuck does.
I heard was it Chick or somebody
Yeah,
that
Chick.
said it, and then I looked after that, and I didn't see anything that said that yet for me. So I don't know. I haven't looked since, but
Yeah, but she's got a lot of interesting, you know,
Yeah, chick
perspectives
is
and
cool chick. I'd like to
yep.
kick it.
Exactly. Cool as a cool chick. And I
Kicking
even
it with
asked
any
her,
of you guys would be pretty sweet because, like, you could actually kick it and talk instead of like the same old "How's the weather?"
mhm.
Like I do.
Well, they're
You know,
basically zombies running around,
how's
instead of actually talking
school?
about real stuff.
Hey, and then I say like, I like your dress, or I like your earrings, or I like your jacket, and like they like that kind of crap, and that's it. Like they don't want to talk about anything that is scary or anything that might be scary or anything that goes against like anything really.
Well, what
Like,
yeah, and what I hate talking about most, and this is where I've always had more guy friends than girlfriends, is that what nail polish should I use? What lipstick should I use? And shit like that. And I was never concerned with any of that crap, And I was
I'm
like,
concerned
I
about like,
bore me to tears.
yeah, match my dang toenail polish with my earrings and crap.
Oh my goodness.
I have to ask my kids before I leave the house. I'm like, do I look all right? Like, does this look fine? Because I don't know if I'm dressed appropriately enough or not. Nowadays, I just put clothes on, and then like all of a sudden my daughter will be laughing at me because of something I'm wearing that like I shouldn't be wearing it apparently. But and so like I just ask them like before we leave the house if I'm appropriate or not.
Yeah, well, my boyfriend is colorblind, and so it was
You
so
gotta
weird
help them
when
get dressed all the time.
I know. And so, but it was so funny when we were watching The Hangover 3, and
The Hangover.
and the one with Bradley Cooper and all that. But anyways, the Asian guy, I can't remember his name, whatever, but he's like, well, because they're trying to like disconnect some wires for the alarm in this house or whatever, and he's like, there's the I can't remember who it was, if it was Bradley or the other guy, um but he's like, "What is it? The red, the yellow, or the whatever?" And he's like, "All I see is a dark gray wire, a medium gray wire, and a light gray wire." And I'm like, "That dude's colorblind." I mean, it was just perfect, and it's funny because my boyfriend and I used to flag together, do flagging, and he would say, "Well, it's a lightish car." He would say the make and model because we're supposed to say like exactly the car color and then the make and model. He's like, "Well, it's a lightish car with whatever, or it's a gray or maybe dark black, I don't know." And I'm like, how can you flag when you're colorblind?
License plate Alaska number 3285 or something like. He probably have to do that, right?
Yeah. But
That
it's
big
just funny.
movie. It's hard to find good movies anymore, but like Concrete Cowboy was a pretty good movie.
I don't think I've
Want
ever seen that.
to watch is about some like city cowboys in Philadelphia that like have horses in the city and like one even lives in the house with them kind of thing. But it was a good
Oh
movie.
my God, really?
Yeah, it
I'm
was a
gonna have
good
to
movie
see
though.
that.
It was like a good quality film, I thought. It didn't have all
Mhm.
the garbage in it and it wasn't demented and psychotic and weird and all that BS, that a lot of crap is nowadays. So I thought it was good. It's like a good movie just to like waste time to if you're looking to waste time and you don't want to waste time on dumb, random, weird crap.
Yeah. Well, I have lots of series. Actually, a couple things I want to mention right now is, have you ever seen Russian Dolls on Netflix? Because it's about like dying and coming back to life, like time after time after time. And it's
Hmm.
actually, but it's humorous. It's not like, dark or anything.
Russian doll.
Russian Doll.
Is there some like, Russian women in there? I dated a Russian girl once. She was mean.
She was mean.
Yeah. It didn't last very long. Um, but yeah, she was mean.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. But like I like Russian Doll. Now, one that I like because I love her um is the OA. But it's a little bit dark. I mean, it's also about dying and coming back to life in a new universe, you know.
Hmm.
But
I don't mind some things. I just don't like all the evil injection of crap into movies nowadays. Like
mhm.
it's all like evil oriented in a lot of it, but not all of it. There's good stuff.
Yeah.
I
I'm trying
look
to
at
think of
yeah.
there's one other one that I'm trying. Oh, Carbon, something Carbon. I don't
Hmm.
know, but it's on Netflix as well, and it's intriguing as well. I mean, it goes into all this stuff. Carbon, what is it called? I can't remember. But
I should
anyway,
know too. I've probably seen it on there a bunch. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You know, my one of my favorite YouTube videos, me and my daughter watch is and who the hell is it now? I forgot. But she repairs squishies and and repaints them and turns them into other things, and it's so much fun. I never thought I would like be into that, but it is kind of entertaining in a way. I don't
mhm.
know. I'm fascinated by it. Um,
Well, it's fun to do things with your kids though too. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
I mean, my
And
kids are older, so
me and her, she's been on this kick, and don't ask me any words because I don't have any clue. But we've been looking at every single language known to man on YouTube, like how to like learn every language basically. Turkish seems like a really hard one to learn. Like those words are hard to say.
I had a chance to go to Turkey one time, but I went to Egypt, which obviously I loved Egypt, but yeah, Turkish is one culture that I've actually kind of fascinated by. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like the words are hard to say though. Like I was amazed.
Well,
German, like surprisingly, the words really do kind of flow easier. Like they're easy to say. Like how the word looks, you can kind of just say it how it looks, and then but say it pissed off, right? Like you got to be mad when you say it.
say pissed
But
off.
like it's pretty easy to like say in things, and Chinese, that's a whole other thing. Like you can't, one word has 5 or 10 meanings or whatever depending on how you say it. But yeah, German was pretty easy. I'm kind of German mostly, I think. I'm 57 varieties really, but
I'm
um
75% German and 25% English. But
I have no
German,
idea.
the
I won't.
German language, my sister actually has a German degree.
Oh
And
yeah.
but anyway, the in German, what's cool about German is that every letter is pronounced. It's not like there's no silent e's or or anything like that. If it has a letter in it, you pronounce it. You know what I mean? And then they have like all these long words that they just string together and stuff like that. You know?
You can
But-
say them though, in some of these other languages, they'll have it on there, and then, but it sounds nothing like it looks.
Mhm.
You're
I
like, well, what the
know.
hell? Like, why is it spelled that way? It doesn't even sound anywhere near what it looks like.
Exactly. So German is actually probably one of the easier languages to learn if you want to learn a different language. Well, I've heard Spanish is too, but well, my sister is fluent in both, well, semi-fluent in both Spanish and German, and then because she has a linguistics degree, a master's in linguistics. But
Wow.
anyway, but
Fancy.
anyway, but yeah,
How-
but Spanish, I guess, is pretty easy to learn, and German, at least the spelling part, is easy to learn.
Well, that's you just gotta like pronounce it and be pissed off while you're doing it, and you'll fit right in.
Yep. Well, like I still have family members living in Germany, and my grandpa was a World War II veteran, and he he was 100% German. I mean, they came over from Germany.
Yeah, that's great
but
grandparent or two.
but he fought, obviously on the American side, but it destroyed him to go fight in Germany to see that his native country, was doing all that stuff. And it just, he didn't talk about it for years and years and years and years. But then he lived to be 96. But like in the last 20 years of his life, I would say that's all he could talk about, and he was destroyed by the fact that the Germans did that, he was. But
Yeah. Well, that was a horrible event. I hope that we don't end up in another situation like that, but it kind of seems like that's where things are heading. I don't know.
yeah. Well, I don't know are you talking about from Germany or just in general from other countries?
If you're paying attention to the world right now, like everybody's kind of like setting up to go against everyone right now, and it seems like lines are being drawn and sides are being chosen as we speak. The whole
I'm most scared of
rumors, the
China.
whole wars and rumors of wars and all the garbage, like that's all going down. But like, if you look at all the countries, which we don't need to talk about names of things because that probably gets your channel deleted nowadays. But all the countries are, and like a lot of people sit around, and here's what I don't get with the whole Chi-Town crap. Like they people think they live in caveman days and whatever, and oh, they're nothing. They live in caveman days. Those guys are dang good at what they do, manufacturing,
Mhm.
and copycatting and all that kind of crap. You don't think they're capable of building some top of the line crap? Like I'm sure they could build any kind of quality of anything they want and mass produce it better than probably any country on the planet. As far as machines and things,
Right.
like you say that we've got because we got better this and better that. And I'm like, really? Like our crap's probably made over there too nowadays.
Right.
And so they made our stuff and then copied it and made theirs better. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But the main country that I'm most worried about is, which I shouldn't say this, I guess, was the CHINA.
Yeah.
Because when
Yeah,
I
there's
when
a lot of people there and they're looking at dominance.
they have so much population, And I remember seeing the Olympics back when it was, I don't even know what year it was, whatever.
The more
Mm.
recent one, the one that
And
was like 10 years ago or 8 years ago or whatever it
right,
is.
right.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing the the demonstrations or the ceremony or whatever, and I was like, "Oh my God, you know, this
Yeah.
is a country to be afraid of," you know.
Yeah,
But
well, at the same point though, like here's a random thing, like being where I am, a lot of the tourism in Yellowstone is people from that country, and a lot of those people just are not smart, not at all. Like I don't know what it is, but they walk down the middle of the damn road, like and walk into your yard and like take pictures of your truck and shit, like weird things, but like they don't have a lot of common sense. Like they just stand in the middle of the road and do yoga at like 8 a.m. as traffic's whizzing by them 100 miles an hour. Like do it on the sidewalk, people. But
mhm.
I worked a lot in the town of West Yellowstone, which is just outside of the park. Like that's the west entrance into Yellowstone. It's the most popular entrance to go, or the busiest one, like to get in. But at least 80% of tourism in there is from those countries. Like out of all tourism through that exit, about 80% of the people that stayed in the town, and like that town is pretty much all hotels and some t-shirt shops and a few restaurants. And like 80%, and I worked at a lot of these hotels when I was there because I was an electrician, and I started talking to them, and they had employees from there because most of their clientele was from there, so they brought in people that could talk to them, you know.
Mhm.
And there's whole hotels that book up with that population just because like they come in bus loads. And to be honest, like they probably own the park. If our debt is the way it says it is, they probably own places like that already, all our national parks and crap, just based on our debt to them.
Well, and I think they own lots of parts of California from what I've heard, but I don't know.
Hey, have you been getting lots of scammer calls lately?
Have I been?
Yeah, do you get any of the student loan or car warranty or
Car warranty all the time, and I'm like,
bank
I don't even own a
fraud or
car.
social security? Like, yeah, I don't
Mhm.
have I don't have a car warranty. I don't have a federal student loan. The last one, like, well, shit, what was it? Friday, I got like 18 calls from, and I think they were just doing it to piss me off because I piss them off every time. But they called me like 18 times and would hang up after I would like say anything. But like the one was funny because the guy, and I'm not trying to be racist. I'm just like saying, but like they're usually with the Social Security and the bank fraud one, they're usually like Indians.
Right, right.
And the last one, the guy's like saying he was an officer of the law and all this and that, and I'm like, no, this is all just a bunch of fraud. I was like, you're not an officer of the law. For all you know, I'm an officer of the law. And he's like, well, how do you know that this is a fraud? And I'm like, well, for one, I haven't committed any bank fraud. I was like, two, there ain't no India guy gonna call me over the phone asking me for my information. They're probably gonna show up
Exactly.
so paperwork and I went on, and pretty soon he's like, "Fuck off," and like hung up on me.
Yeah.
It's funny, like those guys are funny, but like the Social Security one the other day, Friday, They kept calling, and I did everything. I was like, yeah, can you please, I'm asking nice, take me off your call list, and click, they'd hang up. And I'd be like, like, I'd like to be taken off your scam call list, and they'd hang up. And like on and on and on, but they'll want to get like my name or some bit of information. I'm like, well, you called me, you have my phone number. Why don't you look it up and tell me who you're speaking to? Maybe you should start the conversation off with, yeah, I'm trying to reach this person, instead of, hi, who am I speaking to? I need to verify your name and address before, like, so I can pull up your file. Like, these guys are not very smart scammers, but they get you with that, like, the what do you call it? The damn trigger words like bank fraud or social security, like crap, They get you with that, and a lot of people probably do like fearfully start giving them information thinking that they're in trouble for something or whatever, but I think they're just dumb, like, cuz and it's been, I think this one guy works for like the car warranty and the social security and the bank fraud department, the same guy. Like, I think he's the same guy.
Well, hey, I
Anyway,
want to shout out to Prelim and Red Jesus Radio.
shout out everybody, shout out. I don't see nothing except for the little thing that pops up on the screen.
But Prelim, I love you.
I love you too. I love you all.
Oh, I know.
Equally.
Yep.
Except for Rain, just a little bit more.
Thank you. Well, JW, you and I have been around the block a few years, and
4 or 5 years.
I've always loved you, and I'm so glad that hang on, someone's calling me. I gotta ignore this. I don't know who it was, but anyway, it's weird how, like, all of us in the community, no matter, even if we, because I don't have that many subscribers, but like other people have 20,000 or whatever, but it's weird how we all just connect, and well, we get what each other are saying,
In my opinion, we've probably been through this damn reset that possibly we're going to go through about 152 million times already. And it's the same ones of us that keep getting reset into this damn place. Or something. I don't know. Like,
well,
I don't know.
I've thought of that too, but I think if you say, or you manifest or whatever it is, that you don't want to be reset, or you don't want to be recycled, or you don't want to be, whatever, that you can get out of it,
Well,
but I think
I'm at that point on this round where I've seen enough, and I could give a shit less if I'm here or not. Like, you could take me out right this minute, and I'm ready to go.
yeah.
I've even told my kids and my ex-wife and all that crap. I'm like, at any given second, I'm ready to bail the fuck out of here. Like, I don't care. And I mean, it's not that I don't love my kids or any of that crap, but I'm tired of this. Like, I'm tired.
Too.
I'm tired. I'm tired of life. Life's kind of boring, but I'm making the best of it. It's kind of fun. Like, I ain't even getting any. I haven't even been with a woman in like 2 years. Like, I don't even get to play with any dang boobs or nothing, like.
You know what's weird is I shouldn't say this on my broadcast at all, But
Right,
I
I'm
have like
sorry.
I have more guys chasing me at 53 than I did when I was 23, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? It's insane. But I do have one boyfriend that I love a lot,
That's
and
good. That's
yep.
good.
But
And
I'm
to be
just like,
honest,
why
I
are
really don't care because people are kind of just like not a good fit for me anyway, you know? Unless it was somebody that like was in some of the communities that I follow, you know, like that understand kind of and see what's happening. Like I don't really, I mean, I don't know. I can't say never, but like I don't see myself really being with anybody anyway, so it doesn't bother me.
oh, come on now.
I'm
You
cool. Like I enjoy.
you're an awesome person and you deserve to be loved. Don't say that stuff.
Well,
I
see
mean,
that's the thing that gets me is yeah, I do like getting hugs and I do like, you know, being next to a woman and all that kind of things, but at the same time I'm at peace, I'm cool, like I'm okay with being alone. I enjoy the silence. I enjoy that other side of things also, you know. And when my kids are here, it's me and my kids, not like, you know, I'm not like they don't come second, right? When kind of like if you're in a new relationship, you know, it's hard when you got kids because they want to be like first when it's like, nah, my kids are kind of first priority for me.
well,
Um,
exactly, because that's actually the reason that I left my boyfriend at the beginning of last year for my new one, because he was jealous that I had a conversation with my 27-year-old son for an hour. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you're just not going to win that battle. I mean, my kids come first. I mean, you can be, I have two boys, you can be third, you know, that's it. That's
yeah,
just the way it is, you
you
know?
can be third, but like, yeah, yeah, and third is way above fourth.
Right.
First,
Right. But
second, third in close contact. Everybody else, like, it doesn't matter after that.
exactly. I mean, no one is going to take priority over my kids ever, ever, you know? And so,
But
that's
what
just
I
the way it
think
is.
is like I'm ready to go, right? And even over my kids. So like I think priority is like God first and kids.
Well, yeah. I mean,
But
I
like
forgot about
so if I
that
gotta
part.
go right now, I gotta go and I'm ready. Like I don't care. You know, like
Mhm.
I mean I know my kids will it'll happen when it happens. I mean I'm not gonna let that make me like not be able to leave. You know what I mean? Because I
Right.
think that kind of attachment can keep you here.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree with that
With
100%.
I
Yeah.
have that attachment with my kids, but like
Hang
it's
on, I
not.
gotta talk to this person.
Okay, well, I need you to, you can't hang out, okay, because I'm getting complaints already. You make sure you close the locker down. Okay?
Ah.
I know.
Different dimensions.
Yeah,
I
well,
got
anyway, I think
4% left on my phone.
I'm probably gonna have to get off here soon. I'm
I
getting
got
complaints
4% left,
from my
anyways.
U. But anyway, I love y'all. JW, I love you. Prelim, Joner, Bit of Venom, thanks for coming in. Andella, thank you for coming in. Honey Ann, obviously. Red Jesus Radio. Trying to see who all else, but
See you
um,
guys.
yeah, I'm gonna need to get off here.